Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you two games played in round 2 of the Sinkfield Cup. The first one is between Alerea Firuza and Krzysztof Duda, and the second one is between Gukesh and Nordirbrek. So this first game, Alerea opened with e4, e5, and a 396 bishop b5. This is the Spanish, and from this point onwards, black has a lot of options to go bishop c5 and develop with knight f6, or kick the bishop away. This is known as the Morphy defense, and bishop a4, maintaining pressure on this knight. Then now we have knight f6, castles, knight takes e4. So in this variation, black gives up the pawn temporarily and then gains it back. Well, the idea is to go rook e1, targeting this pawn twice, while black only targets it once. And d4 is a nice move, because if you take, I take, and then if you take, I go rook e1, and both of your knights are under attack. b5 was played, trying to kick the bishop away, and then we have bishop b3, d5, d takes e, and e6. c3 was here, and so here it's meant to be that you're just playing here to stop the knight ever coming here, because it's defended, and you don't want the knight to come there. Well, even though it's defended, it means you can't develop your knight, otherwise you leave this pawn unprotected, and potentially a potential threat on your queen. So we have bishop c5, knight bd2, castle c2, and takes on f2. This is a move where the black likes a lot in this position, because you get the pawn and the rook, and not only that, it gets rid of a bishop and a knight, and bishops and knights are both worse than rooks, which is why Krzysztof Duda trades them, he's not getting an advantage, but he's making Alerea's position more difficult, so that he spends more time on working out the position. And now here was played f6. The idea is, if you take, I bring the rook out, and if you don't take, well, that's another option. Knight f1 was played, f takes e5, king g1, temporarily sacrificing the pawn. This is considered great because you're still attacking the pawn, and while this does look scary, it's okay to be in this position, as king safety is more important. You take and check and stuff, and then bishop g4, knight e3, bishop e6, b4, a5. Bishop b3 isn't necessarily a good move, because I understand that you're trying to develop the bishop, but just don't develop it to b3. I'd say you can develop it to any of these squares, not this one. Any of these squares are fine. And for the dark squared bishop, it's like something like this. You can develop to create this pattern. A takes b4. The computer gives black a slight advantage because of the open rook file. Knight takes d5, king h8, bishop e3, b takes c3, knight g5, bishop g8, and then queen h5 was played. The thing is, there's let's see, okay, there's h6, knight e4, b4, rook e1, c2, bishop takes h6, queen e8, queen g5, g takes h6, queen takes h6, check, bishop h7, knight g5, queen d6, queen h4, queen d4, knight e7, queen g7, knight g6, check. And this is a completely screwed position for black, because yes, black is up a piece, although this is fine because if you take with the queen, then white takes this pawn and then like starts putting pressure on your king. And part of that is what happened. Only part of that. Bishop takes d5. See, this brings out the queen to the d5 square, which isn't necessarily a good thing, although Krzysztof Duda knows that. And so there's but so does Alireza. So he decides not to take the bishop, but to sacrifice his other bishop. Bishop takes h6. And if you take h6, your position is lost. Which is why Krzysztof Duda plays queen e8, offering the trade of queens. But even that's not the correct move. It's queen g5. Alireza doesn't want the trade of queens, and then we have queen e7, trying to trade queens again. Takes d5, and then a takes, and then rook a d8. So the thing is to try and get the black wants to get their rook to the back rank. We have queen h5, g takes h6, queen takes h6, check, and then queen takes h6, check, and then to block with queen h7, they took the knight because taking the knight is better than taking the queen. Well, because in this position you will lose the queen. Bishop e3, rook d4, rook e1, queen h4. This adds pressure to the rook, and so we have g3 and then queen h3. Like white's king can only go there, and this is like powerful. I don't know, if white tries to attack the pawn, then mate. And then we have take c2, queen f5, queen e2, b4, knight c5, rook f6, and the players decide to trade around, shuffle the pieces, and we get to this position. Rook f6 check, king g7, rook f6 check, rook f7 check, king h6, rook f6 check, king d7, rook f7 check. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, oh, so this game's a draw because they're going to repeat the position. But it's not a draw because of king h6 and then knight takes c5. You see, Alireza was just a bit low on time, so he wanted to get time, I guess. King h6, takes c5, rook d2. This is a powerful fortress on the second rank. Knight e4, g2 check, king f1. Rook takes h2, rook f2, king g6, takes h2, and they trade the rooks, which is brilliant. So the black position is completely lost, because it's a rook and a pawn versus a bishop and a knight. See, this is where all the way back here in the opening, in like just move 67, and it's like, yeah, here, when they decided to take the knight and the rook for knight and the bishop for the rook and the pawn, then all the way down here, it's the knight and the bishop for the rook and the pawn, which is why that single move could arguably alter the entire game. And in this position, Krzysztof Duda, not in this position, in a later position, Krzysztof Duda thought to himself, I have 140 on the clock, Alireza has 158 on the clock, and I don't think Alireza can mate with a bishop and a knight in 108 seconds. So he sacrificed. It's a mistake though, so, because it's just winning. And we get to see this. It's mate in 22, it says. Yeah. And they just, like, this is mating with a bishop and the knight. It's a quite complicated thing, and we get to mate in 6, mate in 5. If you're interested, the mate in 5 is king. So it doesn't matter whether they go king f1 or king h1, but let's say they go king f1, then there's bishop c4 check, and then king g1, bishop e2, king h1, knight to f4, king g1, knight h3 check, king h1, and then we have bishop f3 checkmate. So that's the first game. Next game, Gukesh versus Nordirbrek. Starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. It's another Spanish Morphy defense, and we had this exact position in the previous game. d4, b5, bishop b3, d5, d takes c5, e6. We've seen all this stuff. get to this position. White has the open rook, although black has an extra pawn. But the open rook does mean that black can try to trade bishops. That it said that knight c4 was a mistake, and they can just keep attacking the queen. We have bishop d5, knight d4, bishop e7. Okay, pretty standard. Bishop e3, h6, trying to kick the knight away. Knight gf3, knight b6, knight d2, and h5. Black has pressure on the bishop, and a really strong move. So the idea of h5 is to go h4. So we have h6, h5, and then knight b5, knight bishop c6, e7, king b8, knight c6 check, and at some point we do have h4. I think it's quite later in the game, maybe, yeah. But anyways, king b7, knight c6, queen d5, and like this. White is threatening rook a7 check, which doesn't look good. Because let's say king. Well, let's say you play h4 now, then here rook c8, and it's not very nice, because white can just keep checking you and get a draw. But I don't know if you'd want a draw, because it's +0-1 for white. Now the computer says it's a draw, but h4. This is the wrong time to play h4. You need to play h4 in the end game to promote your pawn, not right now. Which is why takes b6, he takes b6, and Gukesh tries to trade the pieces and just simplify the position, because he knows that if he can simplify the position, he gets into a winning endgame. Queen f1 here is critical after queen e1 check. The idea is you cannot take, because then I make a queen with check, which is why queen f1 to alter the course of the queen. You cannot just make a queen, because then I take, you take, I take, and you have no queens. Sad. Which is why black goes back, h takes d3, bishop c5, and here Nordirbrek resigned because he's gonna be down. He's down 3 pawns, and the queen is under double attack. And once he moves the queen, he's gonna lose this pawn, and then this pawn's gonna be pinned, and there's just nothing for Nordirbrek in this position. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.